Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Scale Modeling with Mike Ashey. Today we're going to do a tape-up review of the Hobby Boss 1 to 350th scale USS Alaska. It's a pretty good kit. This is my finished Alaska, and I did it in the black and gray scheme dazzle pattern. There's a lot of parts to it and a lot of small photo etch, but if you take your time, you can build it up into a beautiful kit. So let's get to it and start the review.
The hull is a one-piece slide mold part, and the main deck is in two sections. The fit of the main deck to the hull is pretty good. The overall shape of the hull appears to be accurate, and the overall appearance of the superstructure is very well executed. The fit of the main deck sections on the port side is tight. The angle between the O1 and O2 superstructure levels is a very distinctive characteristic of Alaska-class battlecruisers. The starboard side main deck connection is also very tight. The main turret bases are fragile and easily broken, so be careful when trimming the excess tree stubs. The overall model engineering design for the superstructure parts is very good, and all the forward superstructure parts fit together very well. The hatch, storage box, and vent blower detail on the sides of the superstructure is very well done. However, the aircraft roller doors have no detail. The aft superstructure is also well model engineered, and most of the parts fit together very well. The smokestack alone has over a dozen parts. The 5-inch 38 twin mount surfaces are also well detailed, and they are also one-piece parts. Moving in a bit closer, you can see the two void areas. The upper one is supposed to be there, but the lower one will need to be either filled or covered. There are also minute slide molding raised seams along the surfaces of the superstructure that will need to be sanded on the lower aft superstructure parts. This step should not be there, as the aircraft crane cradle sits on the top of the deck. A small piece of plastic strip will need to be attached to get the deck sections level. The upper superstructure tower slides into the location of the arrow. This area will need to be tweaked to allow the assembly to slide into place. These are the forward superstructure parts, and I have taped them together the way I plan to glue them. This sub-assembly sequence will allow for easy airbrushing of the dazzle pattern onto the superstructure sides as well as the deck colors. The forward seam on the aft superstructure can easily be hidden with half-round rod. The aft seam will need to be carefully filled with superglue, scraped and sanded smooth. These are the aft superstructure parts, and I have taped them together the way I plan to glue them. Here again, this sub-assembly sequence will allow for easy airbrushing of the dazzle pattern onto the superstructure sides as well as the deck colors. Here is a comparison in size between the battlecruiser USS Alaska and the hull of the USS Missouri. My Alaska was airbrushed with Testor's enamels and a lot of careful and tedious masking. I modified some of the blast bags on the turret so the individual barrels could be elevated. The Hobby Boss Alaska is a complete kit with lots of photo-etch parts. The upper deck railings are exact fit with fold lines. However, some of them will need to be tweaked to get a correct fit. The kit's aircraft had multiple pieces for the fuselage, so I elected to use spares from a Tamiya 1/350th scale USS Missouri. The aircraft cranes are very delicate, so I reinforced them from the inside with lengths of stiff brass rod. The kit's photo-etch radars were hard to work with, so they were replaced with Gold Medal Models photo-etch parts. Had 3D printed parts been available at the time I built this kit, I would have replaced the kit's 20mm, 40mm, and Mark 37 radars with 3D printed parts.
Hi everybody, I hope you enjoyed the tape-up review of the Alaska. As I said, there's a lot of parts here and a lot of very small photo etch. So parts management is very important and you have to take your time. If you use some fundamental techniques, you can build it up into a beautiful model of the USS Alaska, just like I did. So have a great day and be safe.